The people that stood for that injustice, as we experience injustice every day. You feel me? But in that particular case, man, that was a very special moment. And I think that when we have those moments, we have to make sure, as historians, as those who acknowledge the need for independent media, to be hands-on, brother, to document the people. And so this particular documentary film, Hands Up, Don't Shoot Our Youth Movement, was about the unfortunate tragic death of Michael Brown, but it was really about to give a broader context of the uprising of the people and the issues of the people in that particular town. But it turned out to be really the story of us anywhere we are, USA. Ferguson, Missouri and the issues of Ferguson is the issues of Chicago. The issues of Chicago is the issues of Los Angeles, and the issues of Los Angeles is the issues of Minneapolis, and so on and so on. So I think mainly what we try to do in this particular documentary film is ask a question. Well, first of all, acknowledge the issues, number one, but ask the question, what role do we play in creating these conditions, and how do we need to work together independently and collectively to really have more self-determination as a people? Because like you said, we're dealing with a lot of pain in the community, and it's only going to be that cooperative relationship with the elders and the youth to really get out of this, man.
So today at 5 o'clock, 945 West 69th Street, come see this documentary. Brother Raph is put on, and you won't be disappointed. And then tomorrow at 14112 South Chicago Road in Missouri Entertainment Center, it starts at 7, doors open up at 6, and so it's free.
Peace, my brother.
Peace.
All right, could you introduce yourself, man? I know we're getting ready to really talk about the city of Chicago and explore some of the historic sites of the community, man. Introduce yourself, man, and just talk a little bit about the city of Chicago, brother.
I'm Leonard Noble, 55-year-old resident of the city of Chicago. My whole life been here, but I've been able to travel across the globe, and a lot of the things that I see here in terms of discrimination and what have it, you see it all over the globe, man, in the Caribbean, on the continent, etc. Chicago is the tale of two cities, the wealthy and everybody else. And unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of our people, African Americans, fall into that everybody else category, and you're not given anything remotely like the consideration that the majority society receives. Over 150 confirmed emails of people who said they were coming out. Mother St. Clair, you want to? So once again, I definitely want to thank the Salvation Army. Because this is the sanctuary, and I know they had some colorful language in the documentary, but Jesus had to go into the temple and turn over the tables for the money changers because they were not doing the right thing. So at this point, I just want to say a few brief things about the people that's on the panel. Everybody probably know Brother Ray Ross. He has a non-for-profit youth foundation. He worked with the youth, giving back to the community. Judge Ahmad, Miriam Ahmad, Circuit Court, Harold Davis, WBGX Radio 1570 AM. Well, we already talked about Mother Sinclair. Since 1945, going to the prisons, she should have been able to fill this room up with just the Negroes that she went and seen in the prison since 1945, that been there to help them to make sure they get soap, make sure that they be, getting food, getting medical services, because once you go behind those walls, if you think there's a lot of drama with the police and these killings, which it is, man, go behind those walls and the institutions. Brother Judge Tommy Brewer, and of course, Brother Ralph. So, Harold, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Any questions you guys have from the audience, you can ask them directly, directed to an individual or just in general.
Thank you, Brother Leonard. Leonard is one of the few black men that I know that puts his money where his mouth is, and he's always helping people that need the help.
That's true.
I mean, he's one of the unsung heroes that people don't even know, because he never says what he does, he just does it.
Yeah.
And he was the one that suggested that he brought Brother Crowder in to show this documentary. This should win some kind of award. I mean, this should be up for when they do Emmys, or what do you call them? Oscars. I mean, this should get an Oscar.
You know, basically, man, what we try to do is just basically go down and bear witness to the conditions of the people and dignify our stories that we were experiencing in that particular setting. But like I said again, what it really turned out to be is, it turned out to be, ironically enough, the same story of my hometown of Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. You understand? Like, and I really do respect the sister for standing away from that, because, man, this blood for profit industry, you know, mainly around the death and destruction of our youth, is something, man, that it's nothing new, but it's definitely grown to be a huge industry that's funding many institutions, many people, and many things within our communities. And we have to begin to be fearless enough to speak the truth around those things, because just like a popular song becomes mass appeal, you know, some of us who might have that truth, we begin to bow to mass appeal sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to have institutions like this particular radio station, and voices like yours and others that really give an alternative perspective on those issues.
Philando Castile in Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
City been pulled over 52 times, paid fines in excess of $6,700.
Yeah.
And what's the climate like in Minnesota?
The climate, you know, and the thing that I think about when you say that is the same people that came out when the brother died.
Right.
Were you standing with him when he was getting all them tickets?
Right. Because it
You understand
like,
what I'm saying?
It seems like a Ferguson piece where Ferguson had a line item for $2.5 million that had to be on low traffic crime violations in order for the people to have their budget. So it looked like this little town, or these little suburbs of Minnesota, where this boy been driving for 14 years and has 52 violations, and they were all minor traffic violations that it resulted in $600-700 in fines. And so what you're saying, Brother Ralph, is that we should have been standing a long time ago.
Listen, man, how many pastors knew about that? How many political figures knew about that? How many school principals or school teachers knew about that? How many families in the community knew about that? This is something that we all know. The conditions are conditions we've been living for years. This is not no new phenomenon of brothers being pulled over and treated like subhuman. You know, this is something that's been happening. But we have to start standing before the tragedy. Because, you know, I don't know, there's money before the tragedy to kind of bow your head and go down with the program. But now it's like people line up when the tragedy is happening to get even more money on your death. And so when you start buying into stuff like that, and that kind of psychology that goes with that blood for profit kind of way of looking at things, don't say nothing and complain about your condition when your people become so extinct that they're starting to build like museums to honor those lost black people of America, because that's exactly where we're going to be if we don't start rising to the occasions to really stand before and after the tragedies, brother.
When my boys were growing up, we had Girl Scouts of America, the YMCA, and other activities for them to do. And like you said, no matter what, I didn't just take my kids' word because they said it. I bring both parties together, ask to meet with those parents, meet with the teacher, the principal, the police officer, or whatever I had to do.
The cultural language that these young kids got now is beyond y'all comprehension. So we have to rethink our own values in terms of the black community. And realistically, we got to stop being so divided.
The bottom line is this: God has been taken out of the equation.
They're good kids, basically good hearts. Get some good parents that they knew better. So I'm saying, when you know better, you do better. So we got to get our community attention, first and foremost. Then we got to get some community law.
What's
You
your
know
take
what
on
you're
it?
saying, not to cut you off, but what you're saying, I don't know if Harold said it yet, but he said, if we keep going the way we're going, it's gonna be a statue here say the black man wasn't empty.
Oh, you said,
Yeah.
see, that's confirmation.
Black
Hey,
man
brother,
was good in the
you know,
black
you got the
man.
word right by us, and we've had confirmation as soon as we walked in the door.
Right.
You understand? Because that's exactly where we're at, and I think that people don't understand that that's a very serious thing. This is not just being said. We telling you, really, this is coming.
Thank you, brother. This is us.
Thanks, brother.
Until unbought, unapologetic, straightforward, down the middle, but nigga, truth, we tell you things, don't you afraid to think about it, dream about liberation, without continuation of the miseducation and misinformation to the black man and black woman, down with the accommodators of the liberators, trade with those who trade with you, buy black, bring the dollars back. We see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We see you at 5 o'clock, 945 West 69th Street. Thank you.
Peace.
Yes, sir, brother. What's your take on the Michael Jordan statement? Was he straddling the fence with it, or was he trying to say this and say that, or was he trying to be sensitive to one group and sensitive to both at the same time? What's your take? After all these years, 53 years old, what's your take?
Now I ain't one to say that I don't respect Mike's game. So let's go ahead and get that out the way. Mike was the real deal, okay? You know what I'm saying? So I ain't taking nothing away from Mike's game.
Tremendous gift.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
for real.
Tremendous gift.
Yeah. But